Welcome everybody to Forza Horizon 5, and today we're taking a look at the 2022 Ford Bronco Raptor. So this was announced and started production in 2022 itself, and yeah, it's basically the more amped up version of the standard Bronco. It's got a bigger engine, it's got more power, it's a wider car in general at 85.7 inches in width, which is a sizable 6.4 inches in width more than the standard Bronco. In fact, it's got so much wider that the US government have actually mandated that this car has extra lighting on it just because it's so much wider than the original car. It's also now got 13.1 inches of ground clearance, stronger axles, more rigid crossbars, dual exhaust system, 37-inch tyres, higher strength frame, reinforced front bumper, larger drive shafts to deal with the increase in torque over the standard car, better brakes that have been taken from the F-150 Raptor, and like I said, it's got more power to go with the increase in weight that this car has. Now it's wider, as it now weighs 5,733 pounds, which is a good 800 or so pounds more than the standard car, which is obviously quite a lot. But we have a lot more in the way of power and torque as well, as we'll get to in a second. So yeah, this is only available in this 4-door version, no 3-door version or 2-door version available for the Raptor, which is a little bit of a shame, because if it had the 2-door version and the same amount of power and torque that this does have, then it would be a quite formidable car in a straight line. But still, it's at least has the advantage of being way more practical than the 2-door version. And as you can see, you've got your low range gearbox option down there, 2-speed high range, 4-speed high range, 4-speed low range, and 4-speed auto or all range or something like that, I'm sure. But yeah, it's nice enough interior, as you can see. Nice stitching, which is exclusive to this Raptor. All the blue stuff and all of the carbon fibre trim and the thicker steering wheel as well. Then you got your rear interior, which again is all nicely done. Only really issue I have is these chromed door handles on the inside, which don't quite fit the utilitarian whole aspect of the car. Then you got a sideways opening rear the boot, which as you can see has plenty of space going in it as well. Not sure if the glass can be moved up or not, but can't actually do that in this game for whatever reason, if you can. And yeah, the engine, like I said, is bigger than it is in the standard car. The standard car is a 2.7 litre twin turbocharged V6. We now have a 3 litre twin turbocharged V6, which produces 418 horsepower and 440 pounds-feet of torque. Now that's 40 extra pounds-feet of torque over the standard Bronco, and a massive 108 horsepower more than the standard Bronco as well, which is a sizable difference. Now granted, it does weigh more, like I said, but there's no way that extra weight is completely offsetting all of that extra power, so it's definitely quicker in a straight line. And really rather impressive in terms of its looks. That's the one thing that Ford have nailed down with this Bronco, is the looks of the car. It is a stunning looking thing, and it's certainly not something you're going to mistake for any other car, quite frankly, out there, especially in this Raptor form with its massive extensions on those wheel arches and the your 4-door configuration and the much larger tyres and the like. And you can even do other upgrades on this car, as we'll show you now. Will it let me? Yes, around here. So, oh no, well, you can take the rear tyre off, but we'll have to actually go into another menu. I don't think we can actually show it here. No, we can't. I'll show you in the menus here. So let's take a look. So you can actually take off the doors of the car if you so wish, as you can see. Not sure why you'd want to do that for real, because that does open you up to the elements and dust and dirt and rocks and whatnot, but it's cool that you can actually do it in the game. And you can also remove the side skirts as well if you so wish to reduce the weight even further. As you can see, it goes down by a considerable amount. You can also put this winch on the front, or you can just do that from Forza. And like I said, you can get rid of the rear tyre to again reduce weight, and you can put extra lights on the front of the car as well. So but nonetheless, let's get out onto the open road, and let's see what this car can do. Right, here we are at the drag strip, so let's see what this car can do in a straight line. We'll go off on our off-road course for a little bit that we have used in previous off-road vehicle reviews, and then we'll go around the track. So this has the same 10-speed gearbox as in the standard Bronco, so yeah, it flies through its gears to make the most of the horsepower and torque that it's got going on. But like I said, this is quicker in a straight line and in terms of top speed than the standard car, just because it has the extra power and torque, which is despite the additional weight that this has going on. So yeah, 109 miles an hour there, which is fairly decent for a car of this size and weight. But yeah, at the end of the day, a lot of cars that have this kind of weight usually are a lot more powerful, with bigger engines, whereas yeah, this is by no means the most powerful off-roader that you're ever going to see on this game or out in real life, but I feel like this is the kind of car that is trying to cater to several different people, because the smaller engine is definitely going to make it the more economical car outside of other off-roaders that have V8s and whatnot, so it's definitely got that going on in that regard, but it's also still reasonably quick in a straight line, still good in terms of the general performance, and yeah, the off-road capability is not being compromised at all despite all of that weight. So yeah, it's more than capable of dealing with the off-road stuff, as you can see. Going to be interested to see what this can do on extreme off-road silly builds in comparison to the standard car. But yeah, more than capable of dealing with the rough stuff. There's no issues at all putting the power down on the dirt. And yeah, that ground clearance and all of that suspension travel and those big thick tyres are doing their job perfectly. So let's get to the track, look at the stats of the car, and yeah, see what it can do around a more tarmac orientated bit of road, because yeah, this is obviously a car that is built for off-roading, but it's still capable of dealing with normal road conditions. Although, yeah, I wouldn't exactly expect this to be able, or available even, to be used in the UK or on European roads, given just how wide it is. I mean, it is quite gargantuan in terms of just the general height and weight, but the width on top of that is just enormous, which has obviously been added to make the car more usable off-road. With the bigger tyres, it would need a wider track, and therefore a wider track means it's going to have those big wide fenders as well to keep all the dirt and muck from going up into the windscreen and whatnot, or the passengers and passenger windows and anyone else on the road. So yeah, it's perfectly reasonable to see why they've had to make it wider, but at the end of the day, it has made it quite a sizable vehicle to be driving. But as you can see by the stats, it's all fairly good. The off-road capability is obviously incredible. The launch and acceleration and speed are decent, and the handling and braking are nowhere near as bad as you might expect for a car of this weight and size. And yeah, 56% of the weight is at front, 44% at the rear. So it's reasonably balanced for a car of this weight and size. But yeah, there's no doubt that this is a quicker and overall better vehicle than the standard Bronco, which you'd expect for a Raptor at the end of the day. It is supposed to be ultimately the ultimate version of the vehicle that it's based on. But nonetheless, let's hear what the car sounds like, and then we'll talk about it some more. So yeah, it's by no means a sports car. but it's nowhere near as bad as in terms of handling as you might expect for a car of this type and weight and size. So yeah, it's perfectly good. It's nothing exciting to drive in terms of, you know, on-road, you know, on tracks or on typical roads. It's off-road where this car is the most fun to drive, as you might imagine, but it's still more than capable of getting around the track without, you know, falling over or understeering wildly or anything like that. And the acceleration is pretty good as well. 0 to 60 is dealt with in 5.583 seconds, and 0 to 100 is dealt with in 16.465 seconds, and it will go to a top speed of 142 miles an hour. Now the standard car could do 136 miles an hour at the top end, so yeah, we're a good 6 miles an hour quicker than that. And that could only do 0 to 60 in 6.9 seconds, so more than 1.3 seconds quicker than that to 60. And it could do 0 to 118.6 seconds, so more than 2 seconds quicker to 100. So sizable difference in terms of performance, but yeah, that's not something that you're typically going to get all that much use out of on the road, especially to 100. Yeah, and I certainly wouldn't want to drive a car like this at those kind of speeds on normal roads, given, yeah, it's not going to have the best braking distance of any car, given its weight and size. And although I'm sure they've done everything possible to prevent rollovers and the like, if you had to do an emergency manoeuvre at speed in this car, the likelihood of rolling over would be quite high, as is typical with SUVs of this type. It's not just, you know, typical of this car, it's typical of pretty much every SUV out there. The higher the ground clearance, the higher the ride height, that equals the higher the centre of gravity, and the higher the centre of gravity equals a pendulum effect when you start, you know, moving, making evasive manoeuvres. So yeah, but overall it's really rather great to have this in the game. Much prefer it to the standard Bronco, just because it's quicker and it looks a bit better and it's seemingly more capable off-road as well. So all that going for it, quite frankly. And yeah, can't actually show you on here, so we're actually going to just quickly skip back to free roam, and then I'll show you that the car can have its roof taken out. So let's quickly go there. Skip all over this stuff, blah blah blah. Right, so let's look at the roof come off, which, yeah, no idea where all of the roof parts go if you are out and about and you want to drive it around, because there is obviously quite a lot of roof to the car, but you can, like I said, take it off, which, as you can see, makes it a full convertible for passengers and those up front. So yeah, which is a pretty cool thing, but again, like I said, no idea where you put all of that roof, to be honest. But nonetheless, thank you for watching. You can get this car by getting 20 points in the festival playlist, which is not all that much, and you get a brand new car to the Forza series for your trouble. But nonetheless, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.